Hey, LaVar, you faced both these quarterbacks in your college and pro career. Who's going to win Sunday, Bucs or Saints?
I think the Bucs are going to have too much for the Saints. I did play against both these guys, and I'm sitting here with a stiff Achilles tendon, a sore back, and eyeballs and ears, trying to figure out what's going on with my life physically. And these dudes are still playing in the National Football League at what they said 42 and 43. So that's pretty interesting. I was joking. I feel a lot better than what I said. But I think the Bucs are going to be the team that right. I think the Bucs are going to be the team that is able to snap the 2-game winning streak. This last go around with them, it was so impressive and so decisive that I almost feel as though the scary part about that game between New Orleans and Tampa Bay was that New Orleans showed so much of what they do to have success against Tampa, the familiarity process of it, what that looks like and their comfort in being able to play against this Tampa Bay Bucs team. But Tom Brady is a different animal. And like I said earlier, this is the playoffs, and it changes things. And Tom Brady doesn't have that fear of New Orleans. And Tom Brady isn't used to bowing down to New Orleans, even though he's lost to them the first 2 times. I mean, you think about it. First game of the year, man, throw that out the door. And then the second time around, it's just one of those games. Maybe it's a letdown game. I don't know. But I think Tampa Bay has too much clicking right now, too much explosiveness on offense, and we don't talk enough about how amazing their defense is playing right now. It's one of the best defenses. We'll talk about how good New Orleans is on defense, but we don't really highlight how much this Tampa Bay defense brings to the table. I think they're a complete team, maybe the most complete team in the NFC side of the playoff division.
All right, so LaVar said a lot there, and I understand all of it. And the only thing LaVar said that I disagree with is that second matchup between the two teams was the most important game of the season for both teams because both teams knew that the division was going to come down to that game, and the Saints annihilated them. But this is a very interesting game for this show because Brandon and I both have not game predictions, but multi-month, in my case, multi-year predictions that are coming to a head. Brandon, for 9 months, has been dealing with whatever the Saints version of Bill's Mafia is, Saints fans crushing him for what I think is a very smart take about why they fall apart in the playoffs. I have the entire New England Mafia that has now become the Tampa. They've retired to Florida. The Tampa Mafia killing me for what I've said about Brady all year, and now they're playing each other. The reason I feel good about being on the Saints side of it is twofold. One is about New Orleans, and one is about Brady. About New Orleans is this. They lost to the Packers and fell to 1-2. Since then, they are 12-2, and those 2 losses, one was with Taysom Hill as their quarterback, throw it out, and the other was to the defending Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs, throw that one out as well. So they have, listen, you're not going to beat the Chiefs, obviously, and Taysom's not a real quarterback, obviously. So under normal circumstances, they haven't lost since September. The other issue, Brandon, is this. I have to give Brady credit. He's been exceptional this year. Except for against New Orleans. Show the numbers. Can we just put it side by side if we could real quick? Those 2 games against New Orleans, I mean, that's 25% of his total sacks for the year. That's 40% of his total interceptions for the year. His passer rating is nearly halved. It's somewhat remarkable how great the Saints were against Tom, and equally remarkable how, statistically speaking, Brandon, how great he was against everybody else. That would really concern me if I were a Bucs fan this weekend, because, Brandon, I don't know why that's going to change this weekend.
I thought you threw the dossier away How you throw the dossier away and then come back to it? Come on, man. Like, come on.
This is specific for the Saints.
You can't.
This is a specific thin dossier about Brady versus the Saints.
Look, I'm just going to ignore this Tom Brady talk because I've already said it the last week or two that this dude is on a mission. He looks awesome in the pocket, the way he's throwing the ball, and obviously the numbers don't lie. Look at the statistics. But I want to go back to what Drew Brees said in his interview. He talked about he envisioned this matchup 9 months ago, and I truly believe Drew Brees because I saw this guy after practice for 30 minutes rock back and forth, staring in the mirror, and I had no clue what he was doing. I went to the strength and conditioning coach. I said, Coach, what is this guy doing? He said, Brandon, all those 200-300 plays that you guys just went through on the field, he's now going through those plays again in every situation. This is a guy that's locked in all the time. And I also think, this is a different Drew Brees going into the playoffs because he had to get over the hump when Michael Thomas went down. He had to figure out a way to throw to Emmanuel Sanders and get other guys involved, his tight end Cook. So this is a guy that's going into the playoffs with the thing that was holding him back fixed. He's distributing the ball. It's no longer, hey, 50% of our offense is going to go through Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas. This team is scary, but I gotta go with Tampa Bay. I gotta go with Tom Brady because of everything that you said. You talked about this being a complete team. Defensively, we don't talk about them enough. And that game is going to come down to Todd Bowles against Sean Payton. Todd Bowles' defense is his defense. Todd Bowles put all the control in his players. This is our defense. Now you guys make the checks. So when you turn on the tape, when you turn on the TV this weekend, what you're going to see is all those guys in the secondaries checking palms, go here, go there, because they have to adjust depending on formation and what these guys do pre-snap. Post-snap, they're still communicating. They still understand what they're supposed to do. But then on the other side, you have Sean Payton. I used to walk in Sean Payton's office 10 o'clock at night. The lights was low, candles lit, and he'd be like, Brandon, look at this defensive coordinator we going against. This is him in 1999. Sean Payton goes back and studied these defensive coordinators back when they were in college and different things. I promise you. Listen, I'll call Coach Sean Payton right now, and he will validate it. I promise you. 100%, Nick. You go in there, he's there till 10, 11. Sometimes he sleeps in his office. You go in there, lights is dim, candles lit, and he's studying film from 1999, 1980, talking about, look at what this defensive coordinator did. So I say all that because this matchup between Sean Payton and Todd Bowles is going to be the X factor.
Hey, it sounds like the What About Bob game, and they all need to see Richard Dreyfuss for a little bit of help to me, man. Was he washing his hands while he was in the mirror? Was he washing his hands while he was going through those plays in the mirror? Was he telling himself it's safe to go outside while he was in the mirror? Man?
Great reference.
It is a great
reference.
Katana, can we put up Nick's graphic again, please? Because he's a master at deceptive graphics. Okay.
What?
One of these games against the Saints was week 1. Was Antonio Brown on the team week 1? No. Do you think Gronk was at 100% week 1? He was just getting into shape? No. Do you think all the chemistry was worked out? I think comparing week 1 Tom Brady to the last few weeks Tom Brady, who's been lighting teams up, lit Washington up, lit the Falcons up, and lit the Lions up. So the fact that you're putting A-B less numbers up here, I think is not slightly deceptive.
But it's also versus the rest.
Can I respond to that? Hold on. Sorry, LaVar, hold on a second. Can I respond to that?
LaVar's on my
because I can take a lot of I can take a lot of abuse on this show, but what I won't stand for is while it's implying to the audience I'm statistically misleading them. Put that graphic up again, please. Because I just want to say, put the graphic up again, please. Here's what it says. I'm going to read you every word on the screen. Tom Brady, 2020 season includes playoffs versus Saints versus the rest. That's all the graphic says. Now, it is up to the audience.
Okay.
I would imagine if they're watching this show, they know they played in week 1. Additionally, you know what it also doesn't say? The Saints, Michael Thomas was banged up when they played a second time around. There's a lot of facts that aren't on there. What phase of the moon we were in, what time of day the game was. By the way, there's another night game, not good for Brady. But I'm just like this idea. That is not a misleading graphic. That is 1,000% accurate. And Wiles, I demand you retract that statement. It's not
I'm going to say it's
totally
misleading because you're taking all of the numbers from the rest of the team. Well, you're taking all of the numbers from the rest of. Can you throw that graphic back up onto the?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Throw that graphic back up. Look at this graphic, okay? You're including when you say versus the rest. How many other teams is that?
Yeah.
Right? How many other games is that? So it's
13.
a misleading stat.
13.
It's a misleading statistic because when you say versus the rest, that is a heck of an average to have versus a whole bunch of other teams. And for you to take, I'm sure you could find a stat line and versus the rest that's probably mirroring the versus the Saints statistical category.
You're right, against other playoff teams. That's correct. That's correct.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.